Peace. Right? What's up, everybody? You see where I'm at? I'm in the car. I'm in the whip. I got a message for y'all. This video, I want to talk about prosperity. I want to talk about the core root of prosperity and abundance and why. Why? Okay? It seems like we are chasing abundance rather than acknowledging and understanding that we are abundant. Okay, so this is what this video is going to be about. So if you're trying to get your money up, if you're trying to, create a shift in your reality in terms of manifestation, if you're trying to be in that quote unquote quantum mechanics, quantum reality where you just shift timelines, this video will be helpful in helping you understand what that looks like and how to practice it. Okay, so we're going to get straight into it because this is something that I received early this morning. It's a download during my meditation. All right. Understand this first and foremost. And you may have heard this. You may have heard this numerous times, but you have to understand something. Okay. Everyone that gets into trying to understand more about abundance and wealth and, getting your bread up and things of that nature, everyone tells you that you are naturally abundant, right? They tell you that all the time, that you're naturally abundant. You are inherently abundant. That is a fact. That is a universal fact, a universal law. That is a spiritual truth. Please understand that first and foremost. That is your true nature, to be abundant. Now, this is where things get interesting. What society has did is society has socially conditioned our inherent essence that is abundant and shifted it to something we call scarcity. Okay? Once again, we are aware of this. Now, when you're going through the journey of understanding your money story, understanding your limiting money beliefs, understanding how to shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset, the first thing you want to do is address the belief that it's a scarcity belief. So I'll give you an example. A scarcity belief that I was always troubled with and always struggled with was my mama used to always tell me money don't grow on trees. It's a lot of people who feel like that. If your mama or your dad told you that, then we can translate. Let's break down that particular belief and what that is saying to your subconscious, because it's all stored in the subconscious, that is not enough. We don't have enough money. We don't have enough food, water, right? Any belief that you have is communicating to your subconscious, okay? So that particular belief is a scarcity belief. Now, the first step is you want to identify what the belief that's keep creating the scarcity, okay? Once you identify it, all right, the next step is to understand what behavior that you have that is supporting the belief. This is where we get into the mindset of fake it till you make it. I like to use the method that I coined myself called the actor method, which is basically you are acting a different behavior that is countering or counteracting the belief that you have. Because we got to understand one thing. Your belief creates your action, and your action creates the behavior, and your behavior embodies the reality that you live in. And the reality is, of course, the manifestation. So, and I say it in that chronological order, is because when you think about it, when you have a belief, okay, once you say, say another example, you might say, well, I believe I'm not enough. If you believe you're not enough, then you have to act that out in some type of way. It has to show out in some type of way. You apply some type of habit in some type of way to act out that belief. So once you continuously act out that belief by a series of habits, you start to create a behavior. And once you start to create a behavior, you can look at this as your new identity. And now you don't have to think about it. It is now part of your new identity. What society has created a scarcity identity for us. And so we don't identify with the true abundance that is who we truly are. We identify with the scarcity identity. So you're shifting from the false identity to a true identity, which is abundant identity, right? Which is a behavior that you have to embody, which is, like I said, get into the practice of faking it till you making it, right? And so that's important, okay? So the behavior is so important. So when you talk about manifestation, you talk about quantum leaping, you talk about shifting timelines. The simplest thing you can do is think, what is the behavior that I need to adopt in order to have access to that particular timeline? What do I have to keep practicing now until it becomes second nature? But first, you got to identify the limiting belief, because you also need to shift that limiting belief. So let's go back, right? So if I say that the limiting belief is money don't grow on trees, I want to change that limiting belief, and I want to have a more empowering belief, or a true spiritual belief, that I am abundant. I am abundant. Keep it simple. What does abundance mean? Plentiful, bountiful, a lot of something. Okay, so that can be in any area of life. You can have a lot of different relationships that are just plentiful to you, just joyful to you. You can have a lot of money. You can have a lot of great health, right? You can have a lot of opportunities in your business. You just have an abundance of things in different areas of your life. So once you shift that belief to I am abundant, now what you need to do is you need to create a behavior to support it. Give you a prime example. If you are working your money beliefs right now, you're working on your affirmations right now to help you acquire or build up more abundance. If you keep saying I'm abundant, okay, and you go to the gas station to fill up your gas tank, and you know your gas tank requires you to put $50 in it in order for the tank to be full, and you only put $20 in it, guess what? You have failed the test. You are still operating from the behavior of I am not abundant. You are operating from the behavior of scarcity. I don't have enough. So you put only $20 in your gas tank when you need to put $50 in your gas tank, which is a reaffirming confirmation and a practice that you are practicing, faking it till you making it. You are becoming the actor or the actress that I am abundant. Therefore, I put $50 in my gas tank because I'm abundant. I have plentiful of money. I have money. It comes to me. Money comes and go. It just keeps coming to me. I never run out of it. If you only put $20 in it, you may think to yourself, I don't know if I'm gonna get that back. Let me just put 20. I'm gonna save the 30 because I don't know next time I'm gonna get my next $30. I don't know next time I'm gonna be able to make more money. So I'm gonna just go ahead and store it. Just put $20 in the gas tank, keep it moving. That's not practicing faking it till you making it. Okay? So that's very important, that the behavior that you adopt is really going to be the catalyst for the change, and it's going to be the quantum leap or the timeline shift that you're trying to create. So that's the practical piece, right? Just for people who feel like they can't get past this video. Let me go a little bit deeper though. One thing I understand now about I am abundant. What they have done, this is why I want you guys to pay attention to shit. Pay attention. What they have done is they made us think that abundance is a goal that is external. And so just like it's very popular in the Western world, that goals is a thing to have, right? When you have a goal, that means you're progressing, that means you're evolving, that means you're bettering yourself. People respect other people who have goals. That means that you're trying to do something with your life. What they have did was they took something that is inherently us and place it in a goal frame, and now we're trying to seek abundance as if it's outside of ourselves. And so when you seek something, that means you don't have it. And so once you receive it, then you have it. But let's just do a case hypothetical. What if it takes the next 50 years for you to have abundance? And more specifically, because I know all of us trying to get this bread right now, more specifically, for you to have financial abundance, what if it takes 50 years? That means you're going to be broke for 50 years because you're still thinking that you have to wait to receive abundance when you are already inherently abundant. That is natural to you. It's just like blinking your eyes. It's just like your heart beating. It is natural for you to be abundant. It is not an external goal. It is not like I'm going to go to a fashion department store and say, hey, look, right now I'm trying to get a heart. I'm trying to get a heart that's full of love. Y'all sell that? Y'all got that here? How much is it? All right, I'm going to come back. I'm going to get it when, come on sale. I already have love in me. Why would I go to a fucking store and buy a heart when I have a heart in me? It's natural for me to express love. It's natural for my heart to beat. It's natural for us to have abundance. Okay? I got to harp on that. So What they have done is they made it an external goal. Abundance is external. That means we got to go down a journey in order to receive it. Okay? That's important. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is the trick of the mind. What they have done by putting our attention outside of ourselves is when we do that, okay, let's be clear. If we are naturally abundant, that means that it never turned off. There was never a light switch. There was never I got to wait till I become abundant in order to be abundant. That never happened. We are still abundant even in scarcity. Abundance doesn't turn off. It gives you what you deem is abundant to you. They tricked us, bamboozled us, hoodwinked us to make us think that scarcity is something to require as a form of abundance. So now we are abundant in scarcity. So when you look at your reality, because also your environment supports the lack of the scarcity, the destitution. When you're in the hood, when you're in a project, when you're looking in your environment, everything else looks scarce to you. When you go in more gentrified environments, you see that everything is abundant. You think that wasn't done on purpose? You think that wasn't done by design? I'm from New Orleans. When I go to the Whole Food that's on North Broad, they ain't got nothing in the store. When I go to the Whole Food in Metairie, they got everything in the store. You think that's a coincidence? So they're reinforcing, they're reinforcing the belief through the environment, because the environment also socially conditions you and programs you. It's working hand in hand. So if abundance is never turned off, it never was turned off. If that's the case, what you have to do is depolarize yourself from this idea of scarcity. This fictitious ass idea is so fictitious. There's nothing that's in lack. They created that shit out of thin air, and they told us this is what it is that we have. That shit is not even real, because it's not spiritual truth, so it never existed. They made the shit up. You got to stop focusing on that, because your environment is constantly reaffirming that to you, and you need to start telling yourself, I am abundant now. Now, this is where the trick comes in at again, because your mind's going to say, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not. That's why I said earlier, you have to address the core belief, because the core belief is going to constantly resist it. Okay? So you have to get into the space of subconscious reprogramming. Pick up a book, Joseph Murphy's book. You got James Van Fleet book. You got a bunch of authors who have talked about reprogramming the subconscious mind. Okay? Get familiar with the subconscious work. Okay? Like I said, we are still abundant today. We're just abundantly putting our energy into scarcity. So now when we look outside of ourselves, we see scarcity everywhere. That's abundance. That is still abundance. It's abundance in reverse. So now that you understand that, like I said, you're depolarizing and polarizing yourself into abundance. So now when you look outside your reality, everything is abundant. It's like walking everywhere you walk, go everywhere you go, everything is gentrified, quote unquote. Everywhere you go at, everywhere's a good neighborhood. Everywhere you go at, there's always, paper towels and toothbrushes and deodorant and all your basic necessities and essential items available at every store that you go to. And also, if you say, well, Josh, where I'm at right now, I get what you're saying, but I know I'm abundant, but every time I go off in Walmart, they still don't have no food on the shelves. Like I said, your environment is also a major component of reprogramming your subconscious mind. If your environment is set up for people to keep thinking that they're in lack and poverty, don't go to the store that's in lack and poverty, because it's going to reinforce your beliefs that you are in lack and poverty. The environment matters. So even if you're calling yourself abundant and you're going to places that doesn't look abundant, that doesn't mean you're not abundant. That means that is a political setup. That is an intentional setup that, you know, Jack and Jill, whoever the powers that be, created to keep reinforcing you into the space of lack and poverty. That is all by design. That is a fictitious construct. That is a social fictitious construct that they have created to keep the people in poverty. So I want to recap, all right? Scarcity doesn't exist. Abundance does. All they did was focus your attention on what the idea, a definition, what scarcity means. They told you what it looked like. They showed you what it looked like on television, from movies. They showed you what it looked like in your own environment, especially if you grew up in the hood or grew up in low-income housing. They showed you what that looked like. All it looks like is a symbolic expression of limitation. That's what they showed you. And by you not knowing any better, because we don't know our true selves, right? We have to go through the journey of understanding our true selves, which we don't really have to go through the journey because we actually knew who we truly were when we was children. But we got to go through the assembly line of believing something else because they social condition us to make us think that we're somebody else. So whatever, we got to go through this whole journey to discover who we are, right? And by us going through this whole journey, you start to, you know, get to the truth, right? And so by us watching all these particular movies and things like this that we're seeing in our consistent reality, right, we start to identify with these things. And as we identify, right, your identification becomes your behavior. And if it becomes your behavior, it becomes your reality. It's a form of unconscious, subconscious training that they're constantly trying to do to our minds to put us in an energy that's not even conducive to our well-being or our evolution. And let me place a little bit of emphasis on the acting as if. What I realize how it works for me is I ignore all things that I feel is trying to reaffirm or remind me that I don't have enough money. And I act as if I do. So whatever it is I'm doing, I just pay for it. Now, I'm not saying go broke doing this. What I am saying is you have certain transactions that take place throughout the day, and certain transactions creates resistance that you do not want to pay for something. If you can't pay for every single thing that creates that bit of resistance, like I need to watch my money, just do one of those transactions throughout the week that was a little bit uncomfortable for you so you can start to build up your behavior pattern of prosperity and abundance. You need to build up that behavior pattern so it could become a permanent behavior pattern, which we would like to call neuroplasticity, and now it becomes a natural form of identity or a form of being that you have when you're in the world. Just like driving a car. I don't think about driving in a car. I don't think about what is the behavior I need to have when I drive a car. It's natural to me. So when you're an abundant person, right, you don't think about, oh, where's my money going to come from? You know money's always coming to you because you're abundant. It has to come to you. This is our true nature. Scarcity is some made up shit. Please apply. Do not listen to this video and be like, that was a great video. Even if it was a great video, I love the love, but I'm not looking for that. I want everybody, and this is my own form of selfishness, okay? I want everybody to be prosperous. I want everybody to be abundant. I want everybody to have everything they could possibly imagine. That's my selfishness, okay? Because you may not want that for yourself, but I want that for you. So if this video resonated, please drop a comment. Definitely like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to holler at y'all, all right? Be abundant. You know what I'm saying? Because that's you. Do you. You know what I'm saying? Peace.